We are here for day 5 of the Elevate Your Coaching Sessions Challenge. So if you are watching on Facebook right now, let me know if you can hear me. Hi, Instagram. We are here for day 5 of the Elevate Your Coaching Sessions Challenge. We're talking all about energy today, which is probably going to be something that I ramble on. So, to be honest with you, never really know when Facebook is working, when it wants to turn on. So if you guys are watching, can you just let me know in the comments if you can see me okay and see if I'm actually live? Because you just never know. And thank you for everyone who's here already. So let me know as you come in if you've been hanging out with me this week for the challenge, if you have been paying attention to the homework, if you've done the homework. I've gotten some really cool messages from you guys saying that the homework's helped you with a lot of different things. And let's see. Okay, perfect. I'm live. Yay. Elizabeth high-fived herself when I said yes to tangents. Okay, good. So you guys can hear me. So, okay, cool. This is really exciting. So, hopefully you joined me all week for the Elevate Your Coaching Sessions Challenge. We had a really amazing week. I had so much fun teaching you guys this stuff. This is like a lot of the stuff that I've learned over the years from my own personal development and then also getting certified. I was just always thinking, like, what's the best way to share this stuff with you? And I was like, you know what, why don't I just do a challenge and I can just embed all of it into 5 days and you can take what you need and leave what you don't need. So it's been really, really fun sharing it with you and seeing you guys make these massive shifts in your life and get outside of your comfort zone. So thank you to everyone who's been hanging out with me this week, and thank you to everyone who's been leaving comments and engagement and just taking it all in. It makes me really happy. So today we're talking all about energy, which is a really awesome topic because, when you're working with your clients, your energy is gonna play a big part, especially the more intuitive you get, especially the more you do this and the more, instead of thinking about things, like instead of thinking like, oh my God, first I have to do this in my session, next I have to do that in session, instead of thinking about it consciously, once you start to work a little bit more from your subconscious mind and things become a little bit easier, your energy is gonna get a lot more aligned with it as well. So just pulling up my notes. By the way, too, I'm also going to be announcing who the winner is. So whoever has showed up with me the most, who's hung out, who has done the homework, you guys, I need to give some honorable mentions because you guys are all doing amazing. But yeah, I just want you to say congratulations to yourself. You're a powerhouse. You've done an amazing job this week. And I'm really excited for your clients and the people that you work with and the people in your communities. Okay. So as you're coming in, say hello. And so yeah, let's hop right into it. By the way, if you know anyone who you think needs to know this information, hit the share button. Annie already shared it. You're darling. Thank you. So let's talk about your energy. And I'm going to just kind of let it flow and see what comes up. We're going to talk about emotional freedom techniques as well. But energy is a really interesting topic because, I can share with you my own experiences, but this is something that you really have to hone in and figure out on your own, right? It's going to tie into how intuitive you are. It's going to tie into, if you feel you should do a certain thing, are you going to do it or are you going to not trust, right? Because it used to be that my intuition has always been really strong, but it used to be that when my intuition was popping up and it was telling me to go right, I'd be like, well, that doesn't make logical sense, so I'm going to go left. And what I found was the more that I went against my intuition, the further that I would get away from my purpose, the further that I would get away from what it is that I really wanted to do. So when you start to hear that little nudge, that little whisper that says, go this way, try this thing, post this blog post, call this person, whatever it is, when you start to listen into it, little kind of miracles occur, like things that you're just like, I don't even know how this is happening, but it's happening to me and it's like pretty freaking cool. And so just always listen into that, because our human mind is a lot different than that higher self, that higher consciousness mind. And a lot of the time, the thing that's communicating to us through a higher consciousness, through the collective consciousness, it's going to be pushing you and telling you to do things that scare you, right? So sometimes, like in the past, I've been on a call with a potential client and I'm like, oh my God, I need to drop some serious truth on them. But that's scary, right? Because especially as females, if you're not super nice all the time, people call you the B word and it's so annoying sometimes. And or it'll tell you to like reach out to someone or cold call someone. Or I remember when I was first starting out, I met this girl at a networking event, and I could tell that she wanted to work with me. And back then it was like kind of scary still for me to sell and for me to say like, yep, it's $2,000 to work with me. But my intuition was like, just tell her, just like give her the offer, just tell her, right? And even though it was outside of like a sales call and it was outside of how I normally did things, I think it was like through an email, I was just like, look, like I think that you need to work with me. This is why, this is how I can help you. And then she signed up like on the spot, right? And so my like logic mind would have been like, no, you have to have the sales call and you have to do all these other things. But my higher self, my intuition was like, just go for it. Follow that intuition, and it ended up positively. And so many different things in my life have happened because I've taken a leap. I've did something that scared me. I did something that did not make logical sense, but it made sense in the way of like following my heart and going after what I'm meant to do. And I'm a big believer that we're all connected to a higher consciousness. There's something that is bigger than your current experience right now, you sitting here watching me on Instagram or on Facebook. There's something that's higher that knows a lot more than what you know right now, right? It could be you in a different place. It could be future you guiding you. It could be a bigger part of you, a bigger part of your soul guiding you. I don't know the answers. Unfortunately, I'm not God, but I do believe that there's a voice that whispers to you, go after your dream, do the thing that you want to do, follow that desire. And when you do that, positive things will happen for you. Okay, so a great way that you can tap into that is just silence. Like, we live in such a distracted world. I know I'm telling you this as you're watching me on a live stream, but we live in such a distracted world. There is so much noise. There is so much of people telling you that when you get this one thing, you'll be happy, or when you get that one thing, you'll be happy. If we even look in the news and the media this week, there's a lot of people, and it's very, very sad, but there's a lot of people who, from the outside looking in, seem to have, everything, seem to have money, seem to have success, and are still, on the inside struggling, are still on the inside, not having a good time, having a really, really hard time, and not being able to process that in the right way, right? And, that's not really my place to say what's right or what's wrong, but if we're looking outside of ourselves to say like, oh, if I have this amount of money, I'll be happy, or if I have this outcome, I'll be happy, that's not actually where the happiness comes from, and that's not where the direction will really come from. Yes, I think it's good to have mentors. Yes, I think it's good to invest in yourself and learn what it is that you need to learn. But when you're making that decision, you need to make sure that you're making that decision from an internal call, not because someone is forcing you or telling you that that's what you need to do. All right. So a great thing that I do every morning when I wake up, I have complete silence. I make sure that I don't go on my phone as soon as I wake up. I try not to let any kind of external, distractions or anything get in my headspace, because like I was talking about on day 4 of the challenge, when we first wake up and right before we go to bed, that's when that's when our subconscious mind is the most open to whatever we feed it. So if you wake up in the morning, and I used to do this years ago, used to wake up in the morning, the first thing that I would do is go on Instagram, right? And so if you're doing that, if you wake up in the morning, the first thing that you do is you go on Instagram, you're essentially saying like, here is not where it's at. You're essentially saying like whatever's happening on the phone is where it's at. And then, there's like on Instagram, everyone's only posting their highlight reel. So then you're starting your day in this kind of comparison mode. You're looking at like, oh, well, she's like a fashion blogger and he's on a yacht and they just bought their new house and she just got married and they just made $10,000 in a millisecond, or like whatever it is, right? And you're comparing yourself. And so you're starting your day in a metaphorical way, telling your subconscious mind, I'm not good enough, right? Because you're waking up, and even though you're not saying it, through your actions, you're waking up and you're saying, oh, everyone else's life is more important than mine. They're my first priority in my day, right? And so what I'm suggesting that you do is when you first wake up in the morning, spend that time more with yourself. I have a really great course called Energetically Grounded, Protected, and Elevated. And it shows you how to ground your energy, how to really just tap into your energy and feel your energy. And so what I would say is when you first start off your morning, do a grounding exercise. Like be very aware in our body, because there's a lot of energy that moves while we're sleeping, like a lot of things that are shifting. That's why we have all of our crazy dreams, right? So when you wake up in the morning, get really grounded, be really like make it really tangible that you're in your body. Like sometimes I'll like wiggle my toes. Oh, sorry, let me just mute my Facebook. Sometimes I'll just like wiggle my toes and be like, yep, I'm in my body, because I can also be someone who's very much in my head, right? Or so do that, and then also give yourself time to meditate. So what I like to do is when I first start my day, I just go sit in like a little corner on my couch by the window. It's like my spot. And I just close my eyes and I just picture a blank screen, and I just try and like not have all this chatter, not have all the thoughts and everything that I have going on in my head, because I usually have a lot going on in my head, right? And also, and this is kind of a side note, but if you are an empath, if you are very intuitive, a lot of those voices that are happening in your head, like all the chatter, all the things that you feel like you need to do, that's actually not even your own. You're picking it up, because remember, there's always energy flowing through us, right? And that could be other people's thoughts, other people's fears, other people's emotions, right, that we're picking up. So it's really great to ground your energy and to meditate to start your day and to clear all of that away and just be really present where you are right now, because really right now is the only thing that actually exists. And I know you've like heard that before and people say it like kind of like a catchphrase, but I want you to actually realize that like right now is actually the only thing that exists. And don't think of it as a metaphor, but think about that, like you might think that something's going to happen in a month, but like that's just an idea. And you might think that something happened to you before, but that's actually just a memory. It's not actually tangible anymore. If you went to like a certain beach in Miami when you were 5 years old, like sorry to burst your bubble, but that time doesn't even exist anymore. It's just a thought, right? Just like any thought that you can move through. So yeah. So another great thing that you can do to just really tap into your energy is just be really aware of what you're feeling. So sometimes if I feel like I'm feeling like off and I don't know why, I'll just kind of do a little like body scan, like a little like energy body scan. So just to do that, you can just close your eyes and just picture there's like a little white kind of bulb of light. And just let that little bulb of light like move through you from top to bottom. This is also something that we do in Reiki, because we can do it for ourselves and we can also do it for our clients if you're trained in Reiki and you know what to do. Or you don't necessarily have to be certified, but like it's good to be taught how to do it, I suppose. But anyway, what you do is you would just imagine like a little bulb of light and just let it flow through from the top to bottom and just feel like, okay, how's my face feeling? How's that energy there? What am I feeling in my chest? What is this dense energy that I'm feeling in my chest? What is the root cause of me feeling this certain way, right? And just getting really aware of like yourself and what's happening in your body, right? That's a great thing to do. I also talked about limiting distractions, so that's a really cool thing. Now, one thing that I've been really researching and like reading up about a lot and learning about a lot too, is quantum physics, but also not a lot of people know this, but yes, we think with our minds, of course, but our hearts actually, there's a lot of studies that show that our hearts actually have their own mind. Like in a way, your heart has its own brain. And if you look it up, it's really interesting because there have been like all these documented situations where someone will get a heart transplant from someone else and then they'll start craving like, for example, there was this guy who really liked KFC and then he had like, I guess, donated a heart to this other person, and this woman who had never eaten anything like KFC all of a sudden started craving KFC. Like how nuts is that? There's another story of like a poor little 10-year-old girl was murdered, and then somehow they got a heart transplant, and the 8-year-old girl who actually received that heart, she started having really vivid memories and really vivid dreams, I mean. And she kept having these recurring dreams. And her doctor was like, let me send you to a psychiatrist. And the psychiatrist was like, these aren't dreams, these are memories. So they actually got a forensic artist to draw out like what the face of the person looked like in the dream. And then they ended up finding that person and catching them, and he admitted to murdering the 10-year-old girl. So from the heart being transferred, the heart was somehow holding on to memories that allowed someone in a completely new body to have a memory, even though the mind was in no way attached to it. So there's just lots of evidence that proves that our hearts have their own mind. And actually, one thing that we learn in NLP too is that we think with our whole bodies, right? So sort of in a holographic way, our minds, our bodies, like everything is always thinking. And so that's why a lot of people believe in a mind-body connection, or a connection of our emotions to diseases and illnesses, because a lot of the time there's people who have chronic pain or are having some sort of disease. And then when they clear up their emotions, they maybe talk out or get therapy or get a coach or get someone to help them with any traumatic events or anything that's happened to them, their chronic pain goes away, or their disease starts to alleviate. So it's just really, really interesting stuff. You guys are, I know I'm kind of like more chill today. You guys are, I love all of your comments and your emojis. And Melissa's saying Heart Math Institute. Yep, the Heart Math Institute does all of that kind of stuff. Okay, so one really cool thing, this is actually something that the Heart Math Institute, I think, talks about, or I think that's where I heard it. One cool thing, if you want to get more in tune with your energy and you want to connect with your heart more, and you want to, instead of just thinking with just your mind and your brain, start to think and feel and experience more with your heart, is there's a reason why so many like statues and like Buddhas and yogas, they're all going like this, because sometimes we think that we can move our energy or our awareness to our heart, but we're still kind of thinking with our head of directing our energy to our heart. So just by putting your hand on your heart, it's actually way easier for you to direct your energy to your heart. And then a really great thing that you can do to initiate self-healing in your body, and also just to feel better and to feel your emotions more deeply, and to just connect with that brain instead of just your head brain, is just put your hand on your heart and just really, I'll walk you through it right now. Why not? Okay, so take a nice deep breath in. And then put your hand on your heart and just direct all your attention, all your energy, all your focus to your heart. And then when you're there, just sitting there with all your energy, all your focus on your heart, what I want you to do is just feel acceptance. So what I want you to do is just fully feel into fully accepting yourself. Just accepting yourself, just knowing that everything that you've ever done, you've been doing with the best intention. You've been aiming to create the most success and happiness for yourself. So just fully accept yourself in every single thing that you've done. And also everyone around you, just fully accept them. Fully accept everyone you know, fully accept everyone in your community, and just know that everyone is doing the best that you can. And then with that same awareness, feel a sense of compassion, right? Feel a sense of deep love for everyone. And just know that, you know, the only thing that really exists, the only thing that we can ever experience is love. And just feel that deep feeling of love for everyone. And that deep feeling of love for yourself. Right? Just completely love yourself, every single thing about you. You're already perfect. You're already good. You're kind. You're loving. And it is safe to love yourself. Doesn't that feel good? I don't know, I think it feels really good. So it's really nice to just like connect into your heart and like really like not just say like, yeah, I love and accept myself, but actually like feel it. And apparently the people who do these sorts of exercises, feeling those really strong feelings of love and compassion, it works to create self-healing in your body. So I think that's just a really cool little trick to connect to your energy. So by the way, guys, so far, Annie's like, I don't want to take my hand off my heart. It's so warm. Yeah, it's so cool, hey? Angela says that feels good. You guys are so awesome. If you love this and you feel like you know anyone who needs to hear this, hit that share button. I'd really appreciate it. Okay, so what I'm also going to talk about today is EFT. So this is something that I'm certified in. This is something that I certify women in the Yes Supply coaching method. And so EFT is called Emotional Freedom Techniques. Also, side note, if you've read Gabby Bernstein's latest book, Judgment Detox, she actually takes you through EFT. I haven't read the book, but I know that she talks about it in there. So, and I think she's pretty cool. So, Jessica's saying, thank you. I have a business project to sell my services as an energetic healer. Thanks for all the tips. Oh, good. I'm so glad this helped you. So let's talk about EFT. So EFT is really cool. And what it does is it helps you elevate your emotions at any time that you're feeling. It also helps you shift and move your energy. So you can use EFT, emotional freedom techniques, for a lot of different things. If you're feeling negative, anxious, panicked, scared to do a live stream, scared to do public speaking, or to whatever, social anxiety, whatever, you can use EFT at any moment. Just like go hide out in the bathroom or in your car and use EFT, and you'll instantly elevate your emotions. You can also use, most of the time people focus on EFT if they're feeling bad, but you can also use EFT to feel more positive. So if you want to feel, maybe if you want to tap in more abundance, or tap in more happiness, or tap in the feeling of love, or tap in the feeling of self-acceptance, you can also use tapping for that, right? Typically the go-to though is using it if you're not feeling so hot. So essentially what you do with tapping, and if you've been following me for a while, you've probably already seen me talk about tapping, but what you do with tapping is you would first bring up the emotion so you can be in that awareness. Because if we want to tap out an emotion, we have to be experiencing it. Actually, sometimes the best time to work on your negative emotions is when you're already experiencing it. So if someone made you angry, instead of suppressing that again, the reason why you're angry is because your mind, your body, your heart wants you to work on that, right? So if you're in the middle of and you're feeling it, that's the perfect time for you to do this kind of work, and then also the other kind of work that I was talking about this week. So what we would do, just say you're a new coach and you want to start getting yourself out there. You want to start showing up and doing live streams. You want to start showing up as the expert in your field, but you're feeling a little bit nervous about showing up. What you would do is you would start off just by tapping on the karate chop point right here, and you would just bring into awareness that feeling. So you would just bring in nervousness. You could just tap here and just say, I'm nervous, I'm feeling nervous. And when you start to bring up that emotion, what I want you to do is kind of calibrate your emotion right now. So on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being like nothing at all, and 10 being like, oh my God, you're feeling it. Or wait, no, opposite, sorry. 0 feeling you're not so good, and 10 you're feeling amazing. Think about like, what are you currently feeling right now? So if you're feeling really nervous, you're probably like a 1 or a 2. Okay? And the only reason we're doing that is just to calibrate, so that after you do it, you can see how much better or worse you feel, which you're not going to feel worse, you're only going to feel better. So you just say, I'm feeling nervous, I'm feeling nervous, I'm feeling nervous, I'm feeling nervous, and just really tap into, no pun intended, tap into that feeling of nervousness. And then when you are really aware of that feeling, what we're going to do is we're going to tap on the different meridian points in the body. So we have all these energy meridian points in our body, and when we just tap lightly on them, we allow that energy to release, and it allows our energy to move, right? And we are all energy. Everything in the world is energy. So when our energy is flowing, we allow more into our life, and we also create sort of a stream to allow whatever we don't want to also easily and effortlessly leave our life. So the different meridian points are our body. There's tons, but the main ones that we use for tapping are right here on top of the head, right here beside our eyebrow, right here beside your eye, right underneath your eye, underneath your nose, underneath your chin, right on your collarbone. You can do underneath your boob, and you can do right here. And sometimes people do right here too. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Okay? So essentially what we do is, if we're feeling nervous, and you can follow along with me right now, I'll recite it for you in a nice way so you can follow along with me. So you just say, even though I'm feeling nervous, it doesn't matter if you do it with 1 or 2 fingers. Even though I'm feeling nervous, I completely and totally love and accept myself. Even though I'm feeling nervous or negative, I completely and totally love and accept myself. And once you feel like you're really dialed into that emotion, you're like, okay, I'm feeling like a 2 out of 10 right now. then you just tap right through your body. So you just start up at the top and you say, even though, whole palm if you're freaking out. You're hilarious. I feel like you'd be like, okay, even though I'm feeling nervous, I completely and totally love and accept myself. So if you're at home and you want to, you can follow along. Even though, and this is the double tap. You can do just one side, but sometimes I like to do two. Even though I'm feeling nervous, I completely love and accept myself. Even though I'm feeling nervous, I completely love and accept myself. Let me know if Facebook is freezing. Even though I'm feeling nervous, I completely love and accept myself. Even though I'm feeling nervous, I completely love and accept myself. And sometimes what happens when you go through this is you actually start to bring things up that you didn't realize were actually hiding in your subconscious. So you might be tapping on feeling nervous, and then you're like, even though I'm still pissed at that waitress at that restaurant from 3 months ago, you're just like, oh, that's still sitting there, hanging out there. I didn't even realize it was bothering me. I completely and totally love and accept myself. Good, you guys aren't freezing. Even though, and remember you can do both sides, even though I'm feeling nervous, I completely and totally love and accept myself. You can do under here. Even though I'm feeling nervous, I completely love and accept myself. And then just under here. Even though I'm feeling nervous, I completely love and accept myself. And I always feel great after tapping. And you typically want to repeat it at least 2 times or 3 times. So you can do it again and you can just kind of say whatever is coming up. So, you know, you might start off saying that you're nervous, but then as you're going through, you might be like, I'm afraid no one's going to show up to my live stream. I'm afraid I'm going to mess up live on camera. What if I forget what to say? What if someone laughs at me? Like whatever. And you would just continue to just tap out, and you're just tapping. First off, you're processing, you're bringing awareness to your emotions, you're bringing awareness to your feelings, you're letting it out, right? Because you might be experiencing it, but you haven't actually verbalized it, you haven't actually said it, so you're not giving, like, the reason why that emotion's there, because it's like, pay attention to me, take care of me, like, I'm here for a reason. And, you know, for everyone, that emotion is going to be different. So by doing this, you're just bringing that awareness to that emotion, giving it time to process, and then you're just like, thanks for being here, but I don't need you anymore, peace, right? So you just keep going through. Andrew said, what about when you're overly super excited and you forget topics because of nerve-sighted, made up a word? I love nerve-sighted. That's so cool. I always do that. Ask Elizabeth. I always go on tangents. Never know what I'm talking about. So you just keep tapping, tap here, tap there. And then what you can do is so after every round, then you want to kind of tap in and be like, okay, when I started, I was feeling a 2. And now I'm feeling like a 6. So you can just keep going. And every single time you do it, you're going to feel better and better and better. And then what you can do, Vanessa's baby smiled at the end. How sweet is that? And then what you can do at the end is you can tap in some positive emotions, right? So let's do that because that'll be really fun. So even though I was feeling nervous, you can repeat after me. I realize that I'm going to absolutely smash it, whatever it is that I do. I trust myself to continue to grow and get better every day. And even if I make a mistake, people will forgive me, love me, and accept me. I am perfect and amazing just the way that I am. I have a very important story and message to share with the world. I can see you guys sending hearts, but if you're sending hearts, how are you tapping right now? Just kidding. Thank you for the hearts. I trust myself, and I know that the more that I go after my dreams, the more I try new things, the better it's going to get. I'm so excited to keep doing bigger and bigger things and create the impact that I want to make. Yay! We did it. Okay. And so let me know, guys, on a scale of 0 not feeling good to 10 feeling amazing, how you are feeling after the tapping. I always feel better after tapping. I don't know why I don't tap every single day, because it's like freaking so good. Okay, so there's a lot to talk about with energy. And like I could really just go on about it for hours, but just a really important thing to know is that in the world that we live in, there really is no rules. There really is only energy. Okay? And the reason why it's good to know this is because sometimes when we want to go after something bigger, we want to start a business, or we want to become a coach, or we want to ask someone for permission for something, you might say like, oh, well, I can't do it because no one's done it before, or oh, that person is going to say no to me. But remember, that person is just other energy. And so from you feeling in a high vibration, feeling really good about your energy, sending good intentions to the situation that you're in, sending good intention to the other person who might be a decision maker. Maybe you're like, oh my God, this client won't want to work with me. It's like, well, why are you sending out those negative vibes? Instead, send positive vibes of like, I love this client, I love this potential client, and I love this person, and I'm going to help them get to their dreams, and I'm going to hold massive space for them, and of course they're going to work with me because no one else is going to be more dedicated to their goals than I am, right? Like in every situation, you always have the choice of where you direct your focus and where you direct your energy. So what I want to share with you is just choose to direct your energy on positive things, okay? Also remember that in terms of energy, in terms of manifestation, like energy attracts like energy. So even if you're not intentionally manifesting something right now, even if you're not intentionally like, I want to make X amount of dollars, or I want to create this business or whatever, just know that if you're resonating at a high energy, if you're feeling anything over the feeling of love. So if you're feeling deep unconditional love for every person that comes into your life, if you're feeling joyous, if you're feeling play, if you're feeling light, if you're just feeling good, magical things are going to happen. Like just miracles are going to pop into your life. You're going to meet amazing people. People are going to just want to give you money out of thin air. You're going to get tons of followers, like whatever it is that you want. If you're just resonating at a high energy of 500 or above, good things are going to happen to you because of the energy that you're holding, right? Because you're already in that, what Abraham Hicks calls the vortex. All right. So what I want to share with you is to always remember that you are energy. Always remember that you are in control of your own emotions, and that your emotions are actually like your thermometer for your energy, your frequency. So if you ever want to know what frequency you're resonating at, just ask yourself, how am I feeling? If you're not feeling good, you're probably resonating at a low energy, right? Like resonating the energy of like 100 or 200, which is like anger and sadness and guilt, right? If you want to be resonating at a high energy of 500 or above, when you're able to affect people in a bigger way and manifest things into your life faster, and create those miracles, a shortcut, an easy thing to do is just feel the feelings of love. Not necessarily romantic love, but just unconditional love, of acceptance, of compassion, of not having like greed or ego or anything like that, but just showing up from a place of generosity for others and a place of generosity for yourself, and positive things will happen to you. Angela says, heck yes, I'm in the vortex. Okay, guys, so what did you think of EFT? What did you think of today? Let me know if the energy things that I shared with you helped you. And then what I want to do is I want to I want to give an honorable mention to Chudney and Elizabeth, because you guys did an amazing job this week, showing up every single day, leaving lots of comments, doing the homework. You guys are also in group coaching, and I just wanted to shout you out because you both have done an amazing job at showing up and doing the work, and I can see just amazing things happening for you because you show up and do the work for yourself and also for your amazing clients. And what I want to do is I want to congratulate Angela, because Angela has been showing up and doing the work as well, like the rock star that she is, like the rock star that you all are. But I've like definitely noticed that she has been doing a lot of the homework, posting it everywhere in the group, posting it on Instagram, DMing me on Instagram. Like, she's been everywhere with this homework. So if you guys saw it, you'd be like, whoa, Angela, you totally deserve to win. So I want to congratulate you, Angela. I'm going to reach out to you by DM so I can get your address and all that fun stuff. And you won this week's gift, which is a selenite crystal, which is great for just protecting your energy and all that fun stuff. You also won a Yes Supply mug, so I'll reach out to you and figure out which mug it is that you want, and a book recommendation for me based on whatever your goal is. I'm super excited. I'm going to be reaching out to you, and she's freaking out, and she's had some amazing wins this week, so I'm super excited for her. And then your homework for tonight, we're not continuing on the challenge tomorrow, so I won't really be able to check in on your homework, but if you want to do this homework for yourself, a great thing to do, like, here's the thing. There's so much information out there. I've obviously just thrown a ton of information at you this week, and I'm sure if you're the type of person that loves to learn, you've been taking in lots of articles and blog posts and YouTube videos and all that. But instead of just learning more, what I actually encourage you to do for the homework is reflect on this week. So what is the favorite thing that you learned? Did you love the EFT? Did you love learning about anchoring? Did you love learning how whatever's happening inside our mind reflects in our outer world, right? Ask yourself, what is the favorite thing that you learned? Ask yourself, like, what knowledge did you not know before that you know now? If you want to post it in the group, I would love that because I love to see what you guys are working on. Ask yourself, what techniques do you want to add to your daily practice to help you improve your daily practice? Because like I said before, whether you're a coach or not, if you are a coach, you have to be your own best client. You have to do the work on yourself. And just ask yourself, how do you want to massively change your life? Because at any moment, you are in control of who you are now. You are at cause for everything that's happening to you now. And that is the most empowering thing ever, because that means that you're at cause for everything that you are going to create in your life. And you can create absolute magic. You can create absolute miracles in your life. So I want you to ask yourself those 4 questions. What are your favorite things that you learned? What knowledge did you not have before? What techniques are you going to add to your daily practice? And how do you want to massively change your life? Angela is going to add anchoring and tapping. How cool. So guys, I love you so much. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Also, if you are a coach and you want to join me in my free masterclass, I'm talking about strategies to help you become a 6-figure coach. So how to learn how to increase your value, attract dream clients, and scale your business to that point of success. And I talk a lot about simplicity, right? Because a lot of people when they're first starting out are trying to do everything, trying to be everything to everyone, and have like a podcast and a YouTube channel and like mow lawns on the side and be freelance writers, and like that's just craziness. And so I'm going to talk a lot about simplicity. I'm going to talk about helping you get there faster. I've had so much fun putting together the slides for this webinar, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So you can head to yessupply.co/coach masterclass and sign up for my free masterclass. It's coming up soon, and it's going to be a lot of fun hanging out with you, and you'll be able to ask me more questions there. So ladies, Annie says, I want that. Andrea says, I love being here. Okay, great. Awesome, guys. So this was so much fun. I feel like I'm forgetting to tell you something, but I don't think I am. I think we got it all in there. So just as a recap, we talked about the power of your subconscious mind. If you're popping in here for the first time, I would definitely go back to day 1 of the Elevate Your Coaching Sessions Challenge. You can sign up for all the notifications at yessupply.co/elevate. I'll write it right here. And it's really, like, not to toot my own horn or anything like that, but it's really game-changing advice. And I'm not just saying that because I know pretty much everyone says that, but this is stuff that you probably have not ever heard in the world before, unless you've spent like thousands of dollars on learning about the power of the subconscious mind, like I have. And so I'm just putting the link there for you. And so if you sign up, what we're going to do is we're going to reset it up so that you get all of the prompts. On day 1, we talked about the power of the subconscious mind, and essentially like how your mind works, how you really are in charge of your energy. We also talked about how to run a successful coaching session. So if you're a coach and you're watching this and you're wondering like, how do I run a successful coaching session? We talk about that on day 2. Elizabeth already signed up for the masterclass. Angela already signed up. Chunny already signed up. Amazing. And then on day 3, we talked about neuro-linguistic programming. So how we have already been programmed negatively by movies, by TV shows, by teachers, by parents, by all these different things, and how we can actually make massive shifts in our programming to create the life that we want. Because essentially our bodies are like robots to whatever our brain feeds it. So if you're feeding your brain positive things, when you believe in yourself, when you see yourself as being successful and abundant and happy and healthy, your body is going to follow that lead. So that's what we talked about on day 3. Day 4, we talked about how you can speak directly to your subconscious mind to create those massive shifts. And then today, you were here, we talked about energy, and it was amazing. So I love you so much. Annie's asking, how do you sign up? You can sign up at yessupply.co/coach masterclass. All right, guys, so this is Reese from Yes Supply. Elizabeth so nicely added the link in Facebook. You're darling. This is Reese from Yes Supply. Remember to only take yes for an answer in life and business, and have an amazing rest of your day. Bye. Mwah.